What's up, everybody? It's Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, and we're back once again, this time with some NFL DFS picks and lineup advice for tonight's single game showdown slate on FanDuel and DraftKings between the Saints and the Raiders. In this video, I'm going to talk about some plays for both low risk and high risk contests, hit on some projected ownership, the most popular captains and MVP choices for tournaments, and then just some general strategies to help you create profitable lineups. So before we get started, though, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. That way you get access to all of our latest videos as soon as they're released here on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. If you like the video, the more thumbs ups we get, the more likely we are to create these types of videos. And if you have any questions about this slate, hop in the comments below and we'll answer them before the slate locks on Monday night. Now, our premium podcast with Colin Drew of Daily Roto is posted in our members dashboard, so go check that out for more in-depth thoughts. Our daily plug will be posted this afternoon, where I talk about every single play on the slate and then give very specific lineup strategies for FanDuel and DraftKings. OccupyFantasy.com. Link is in the description below for that. And the Occupy model, OccupyFantasy.com, ranks every player for FanDuel and DraftKings. Also includes projected ownership for both sites for tournaments tonight. And then today, Monday, the 21st of September, is the last day that our Occupy Fantasy lineup builder is free for Occupy members. So if you want one more chance to check it out before it's a paid product, occupyfantasy.com/lineup builder is where you can learn more. So let's talk about tonight's game. And the Saints are 5.5-point road favorites tonight, total of 49 points. This game actually opened as the Saints as 6.5-point favorites. The Raiders are getting less than 50% of the bets on the in the spread. So a little bit of reverse money line movement for the Raiders here. So maybe some sharp action coming on the Raiders, dropping from 6.5 to 5.5-point home dogs. So that's an interesting angle to think about tonight. Let's talk about the low risk perspective for tonight. And generally, if you've read our Showdown Guide ebook, talks about how to try to jam in two quarterbacks, two running backs for your low risk lineups to try to lock up all the touchdowns. Now it's a little bit tricky tonight because the Oakland side is easy. We have Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, bell cow. Saints side is a little trickier with Drew Brees, easy. Alvin Kamara should be the most popular player on the slate. But Latavius Murray got 15 touches last week. He's a threat for some touchdowns. And then, of course, we have Taysom Hill on a primetime slate. He can easily get a touchdown on the ground or even passing. So tonight, it's not very easy to lock up all the touchdown scoring. Let's look here. If we put in Kamara as our captain, Brees, Jacobs, Derek Carr, that leaves $17.50 per player. Obviously can't do that. So we might have to go with a unique captain tonight. So this gives us $4,600 per player if we get the four main guys into our lineup. Let's see here. If we look down, of course, we could put Latavius. That gives us $5,800. That's not that great. Could put in Taysom Hill, who I feel like a lot of people are going to play tonight. That gives us $7K to work with. A little bit of options there. But all in all, there's no easy roadmap for low risk tonight. If we hop over to FanDuel, it's the same exact thing. If we try to fit those four players, Brees, Kamara, Jacobs, Carr, scroll up a bit so you can see it, that's only $3,500 left per player. Can't even fit in a lineup there. So we have to fade one of these guys. I guess Derek Carr is the most likely because he's the underdog quarterback, but again, that doesn't feel great. So on first glance, this looks like a very difficult low-risk night for your 50-50s, your double-ups, your head-to-heads. So it's probably just more of a high-risk night. We want to go ahead and take a couple shots in leagues and satellites and single entry and 3-max GPPs, 20 max for 150 max if that's your game. Definitely looks more like a high-risk night, and I think there's a lot of leverage to be found in these high-risk contests. If you look at Alvin Kamara, let's bring him up here. Scored 2 touchdowns in week 1, 21 FanDuel points. The highest raw expectation for projected points tonight on both sites out of any player. As a result, he's also going to be the most popular MVP and captain choices in high-risk contests. FanDuel, we expect his MVP roster percentage to be close to 50%. On DraftKings, it could get up to 30%, which is just insane. We rarely see those types of numbers, especially for a running back. But now, Kamara, the thing is, we had this situation with Derrick Henry in week 1 on Monday Night Football. The big difference is Alvin Kamara plays more in the passing game than Derrick Henry. A little bit easier for him not to fail. However, if Kamara fails to get in the end zone tonight, he's not going to be the optimal captain. And will he get in the end zone? 50-50, maybe slightly better than 50-50 chances. But again, there's lots of ways he can fail. Even though he's less likely to fail than Derrick Henry, he still can fail. It's a football game. And when you have someone that highly projected, it's really tough for them to not only pay off the ownership, but for you to get unique lineups around them. Because most lineups with Kamara at MVP or captain are going to look exactly the same. They're going to be built very similarly. So for us, we can get a little bit different. So on FanDuel, whether that's using Drew Brees, who's likely going to be the second most popular captain, and playing with a New Orleans pass-heavy story that you're telling in your lineup, or maybe if there's sharp action on the Raiders and the betting market moves are correct, and the Raiders end up winning this game or keeping it close, or the game goes under, maybe play a Raiders-heavy game script, right? Play Jacobs at captain or MVP. God forbid you play Derek Carr at MVP. Those are probably the four main options on FanDuel. Or another crazy option here, maybe Latavius Murray gets all the touchdown work. 2 touchdowns in the red zone. It's a low-scoring game. He ends up the optimal MVP. Very unlikely, but he's going to be 1% owned. So lots of options to get around Alvin Kamara. It's even better on DraftKings because of the injuries at the receiver position for both teams. For New Orleans, we have Michael Thomas, who's out. High ankle sprain. He's already been ruled out. Emmanuel Sanders should take over the number 1 duties. Traquan Smith should be number 2. But the guy who benefits the most is likely tight end Jared Cook. He actually saw the most targets on the team in week 1. Let's bring it up here. 7 targets. Actually, Kamara had 8, but he had the most targets of any receiver or tight end. Turned those into 5 catches for 80 yards. He should be the de facto number 1 receiver tonight. Now, generally, we don't use tight ends at captain or MVP in single game contests. They rarely end up as the optimal choice. But we have to look at each slate differently. A very slate specific choice here because Jared Cook and then Darren Waller on the other side. Let's bring up Darren Waller. He's also the de facto number 1 receiver for the Raiders tonight. 8 targets in week 1. Easily led the team. So while most people don't use tight ends at captain MVP, and they shouldn't, the only ones that really get heavy captain usage are George Kittle, Travis Kelce. But maybe tonight's the night we use a 4 or 5% owned captain on DraftKings, especially because these guys, in my opinion, in our model's opinion, have the likeliest chances of getting a 100-yard bonus on DraftKings. So in general, we don't use tight ends. But tonight, where both tight ends could be the number 1 receivers on their teams, in a game that's projected to score 49 points, could actually end up being the way to go. And I like it especially. I'd rather play these guys at 5% captain than Kamara at 30% captain. Now, again, I have a very high-risk approach. Not saying Kamara is a bad captain choice, but you just have to get very different with your tournament lineups if you choose to use him at your captain spot. Not to mention the salary savings we get by using Cook or Waller at captain. So, I think that does it for this video. If you want finalized thoughts and more in-depth discussion on each player on the slate and our strategies for tonight for tournaments, go ahead and check out the Daily Plug, OccupyFantasy.com. That is posted by 4 p.m. Eastern. The link's in the description below. Our Occupy model is ranked to every player on the slate, FanDuel and DraftKings. You're probably going to be surprised who the number 1 ranked player is on the slate. That link is also in the description below. And again, before we get out of here, click the subscribe button to get all of our latest videos. Thumbs up if you want to see more of these videos. And any questions you have, comment below, and we'll answer them before the slate locks at 8:20 p.m. Eastern tonight. 8:15 p.m. Eastern tonight. All right, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. Appreciate you listening. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.